spinal cord, breaking my neck at the C5 level, which left me paralyzed from the chest down. I was going to visit my brother in Boston. I lived in Maine, and my boyfriend, Jack, lived in Pennsylvania, and we wanted to meet up, but we went to Boston. And the last night that we were there, we went up onto the roof and we had a hammock up there attached to a wall and attached to a chimney. And I sat on the chimney side, so it collapsed and it only landed on me, crushing me and severing my spinal cord. I'm breaking my neck at the C5 level, which left me paralyzed from the chest down. No triceps, no finger function. I went right to the ICU. I had to get some pretty big surgeries. I had to get a rod in my neck at the C5 level. I think it was 15 hours. And I have had, I think, 18 surgeries now. And then I had to get a stent in my right subclavian artery. I had to get a trach because I was on the vent. So that's what this scar here is. And I couldn't talk, I was on the vent, I couldn't eat, I had a feeding tube. So it was rough. And they told me that I had a spinal cord injury and then I would never walk again. And I think the first time I actually got upset about it and realized the extent of my injuries was when I went to Spalding Rehab for 3.5 months. And I remember I saw a girl running outside and I remember thinking, I'll never be able to do that again. So it was really scary, and I remember crying a lot, and I remember being like, how am I gonna do this? What am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna live like this for the rest of my life? But the hardest thing for me, I think, in the rehab process and recovery process was how nauseous I was and my low blood pressure. That was really difficult because they would say, okay, Erin, today we're standing, and I would just throw up the whole time. And forcing myself to go back to class and getting up in the morning and trying to go back to class, I would sit in my chair and I would be nauseous for so long. So maintaining my independence and adapting to my new reality was really hard, but I think the biggest thing was just learning how to use my phone, learning how to feed myself, working out at home, putting my makeup on, practicing my hair. But little things like that really made me feel confident and more independent. So the key people that played the biggest role in my support system was my mom, my boyfriend Jack, and my brother Todd. And I couldn't have done it without them. My mom was my caregiver for the first 3 years. Now Jack's my full-time caregiver. My sister showed me a GoFundMe that she created for me, and I think I had raised like maybe $70,000. And I just remember being like, that many people like want to support me, and that made me so happy. And so without them, I don't think I could have done it. So anyone currently navigating a journey like this, what I would say to you is find your support system, find those people that you can count on, but also be open to the disability community, and putting yourself out there on social media and helping other people is huge. My perspective on life has changed immensely. It definitely opened my eyes to the disability community, and I love advocating for the community. So now my goal is to be a disability rights lawyer, and I really want to change some of the laws for disabled people, make the world a better place for disabled people. I also have other small goals such as a tendon transfer surgery to get a little bit of hopefully finger movement, be able to open my hands up. I'm working on transferring still. I want to be able to transfer myself from my bed to my wheelchair. Jack and I want to get married in 2025 because we're engaged. And so that's something I'll be planning, which I'm really excited about. And then I would love to have kids, so that would be something huge. But I'm really happy, and I just want people to know that even living life in a wheelchair with a disability, that you can live a fulfilling, happy life. And some people don't believe that. I don't know why, but I think that message needs to be spread as much as possible. Rehab was definitely better than the ICU because I was able to do PT and OT, but I was in a lot of pain. Once I got home from there, I actually never went home. We got an apartment in Boston so I could keep all my doctors. This was the hardest time for me mentally because Jack, my boyfriend, and all my friends went back to school. So I really struggled with that big change. So the recovery process was really hard because you struggle with a lot of things behind the scenes, not just back pain and shoulder pain, but you have nerve pain, and you have UTIs, and you have bladder issues, and you have to do a bowel program. So there's all these things, you know, that you're relearning, and it's really difficult. So I became very passionate about disability rights, especially when I realized all of the things that disabled people deal with that I did not no. And so I always wanted to be a lawyer. The goal after college was always to go to law school. So now my goal is to be a disability rights lawyer. And I can't wait to make changes in the future for people in the community, because there are some big changes that need to be made, and that is a whole nother story. And mentally, in the beginning, I didn't really prepare for that stuff because I couldn't. I was on so much medication, I don't even remember. Now I would just go in and pray and honestly hope for the best. I had my mom and I had Jack and I had my brother, and yeah, every time I'm scared. It never got better. But I would just try to be as calm as I could, and that's how I really got through surgeries. I felt so independent compared to when I was at rehab and I couldn't even touch my face because I wasn't strong enough to do that. The other thing that helped with support was going to Journey Forward and Project Walk and those places that you have to pay out of pocket for rehab. Like, that was huge because I'd make friends there. I loved my PTs there, and just working out and getting stronger, that really helped me in my recovery process. So how I managed doubt and frustration was definitely just letting it hit me when it came. So if I had a day where I was like, I'm gonna stay in bed all day and cry, I would do that. And the more I would let that happen, the better like the rest of my month would be. So I would say, okay, you know, it's a bad day, it's not a bad life, we're gonna let it out today, tomorrow's a new day, and tomorrow's gonna be a good day. And that was the best way for me to stay positive, and also setting small goals, short-term and long-term, really, really helped me mentally, because I would just focus on everything day by day. And I think that was huge for me mentally. Even my own recovery, like, that really brought me so much happiness, being able to help people when I knew what they were feeling, because I had been in that situation. So I think just reaching out to people and posting and helping people, or posting on YouTube, and I think just understand that you're gonna have bad days, but everyone has bad days, and you don't have to blame everything on your injury or your disability. Like, you just gotta focus on your goals and focus on who you want to be, and yeah, that's what I try to do. Yeah, like, now that's my passion. I love advocating for the community. My brother and I are creating an app called the 10%, which will be a social networking platform for the disabled community. And I am the chair of the disability committee in my county where I live. And yeah, it's just my passion. And I want to make changes in laws and so many things. So it's opened my eyes to that, but also just to realize, like, everyone has something they're struggling with in their life. So just to be kind always.